All right, let's dive into the 2025-26 Australian Skilled Migration Program. And look, this isn't just about filling out a bunch of forms. It's way more like a high-stakes game. So think of this as your strategic playbook. We're going to break down how to understand the rules and, how to make those winning moves. So you see this number, 185,000, and you think, wow, that's a lot of spots, right? The federal government's migration cap, it looks super promising on the surface. But, and this is a huge but, that big number, it really doesn't tell the whole story. This is where the game actually begins. And this, right here, this just shows you the reality on the ground. So you've got this massive national number, 185,000, but then the states, they're starting the year with these tiny interim allocations. I mean, just look at Victoria. Their first quota, 380 places? That's not a slice of the pie, it's barely even a crumb. It's a massive squeeze, and it means the competition is absolutely ruthless. Okay, so this brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? You've got all these talented people fighting for just a handful of spots. How on earth do you make your application the one that stands out, the one they simply can't ignore? Well, I'll tell you this, it's not about luck. It's all about strategy, and that's exactly what we're going to break down right now. All right, first things first. Before you can even think about which state you want to live in, you've got to get past the federal gatekeepers. Think of these as the absolute non-negotiable rules of the game. You don't meet these, you're not even allowed to play. This is your entry ticket, plain and simple. So what are these big hurdles? Let's run through them. 1, you've got to be under 45. 2, you need at least a competent level of English. 3, you need a valid, positive skills assessment for your specific job. And 4, the big one, you have to hit a minimum of 65 points on the points test. And remember, that includes the points you get from the state if they nominate you. You clear these 4 things? Okay, now you're in the running. Okay, so you've cleared the federal level. Awesome. Now the real strategy kicks in. See, getting nominated isn't one big national race. It's more like a whole series of local games. Every single state has its own playbook, its own priorities, its own rules. You can't use the same approach everywhere. You have to play the right game for the right state. Let's break down our first strategy. I like to call this one the Locals First Club. And it's exactly what it sounds like. These are the states that heavily, and I mean heavily, prioritize people who are already there. Folks who are already living, working, and contributing right inside their borders. And when you look at the states in this club, you see a really clear pattern. Victoria, they're laser-focused on people already working in their key sectors like health and tech. South Australia, they're so focused on their own graduates and workers that they've literally hit pause on new applications just to clear their backlog. And Tasmania, they want to see you've been working there for at least 6 to 9 months. The message from all of them is crystal clear. Show us you're already one of us. And hey, here's a little pro tip for anyone looking at Tasmania. If you're able to plan ahead, studying there is more than just getting a degree. It's a massive strategic move. Seriously, a 2-year course can be your golden ticket. It opens up one of the most straightforward and accessible nomination pathways in the entire country. Okay, on to our second strategy group. And these states are all about one thing, and one thing only, a job offer. For them, yeah, your skills are important, but what really matters? It's that proof of employment. That's the key that unlocks the whole thing. Western Australia is the perfect example of this. For most of their visa pathways, having a full-time job contract with at least 6 months still on it, well, that's not just a nice to have. It's completely non-negotiable. No contract, no nomination. It is literally that simple. So what does that mean for you if you're targeting WA? It means this. Forget the visa paperwork for a minute. Your number one priority, your only priority, really, should be pounding the pavement, networking, and getting that real long-term job contract. In a way, the job contract is your application. All right, let's talk about our third and final group, the system players. These states run on super competitive, points-based ranking systems. Here, it is not enough to just meet the minimum requirements. Nope, it's all about playing the points game to get the highest possible score and having the most perfect, polished application out of everyone. Just look at New South Wales and the ACT. In NSW, it's pretty much a straight-up calculation. Have high points in a high-demand job, and you've got a shot. Your expression of interest, or EOI, has to be absolutely flawless. Then you've got the ACT, which is even more structured with its Canberra matrix. They literally score you on everything: your job, your qualifications, how long you've lived there. The bottom line for both, only the people at the very top of the scoreboard get that invitation. Okay, we need to talk about something that trips a lot of people up: the EOI versus the ROI. I know, they sound almost the same, but they are totally different things for totally different governments, and getting this right is absolutely critical. Let's just walk through the process for Victoria so you can see exactly how it works. Step 1, you check if you're even eligible. Simple enough. Step 2, you submit your expression of interest, the EOI, to the federal government. Now, only after you've done that can you move to Step 3, which is submitting a totally separate registration of interest, the RI, to the Victorian state government. If they like your ROI, then you get invited to formally apply for nomination. It's a strict sequence, and you cannot skip a single step. So let's boil it all down. Think of it this way. The EOI, your expression of interest, is like you shouting from a megaphone to the entire country of Australia saying, "Hey, I'm over here. I'm skilled and I'm interested." But the ROI, the registration of interest, that's like you knocking on Victoria's door specifically and saying, "Hi, I want you to be my sponsor." See? Two totally different conversations for two totally different systems. Phew, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's pull it all together. What's the winning strategy? What are the key things you absolutely have to remember for this whole 2025-26 migration game? Let's get into the takeaways. First up, you've got to know where the demand is. It doesn't matter which state you're looking at, these sectors pop up again and again as priorities. We're talking health and social services, construction, digital tech, education, and also things like advanced manufacturing and new energy. If your skills are in one of those areas, you're already starting with a huge advantage. The game is already kind of tilted in your favor. And second, and honestly, this might be the most important takeaway of all, local commitment is king. The number one message coming from pretty much every state, whether it's Tassie or Victoria, is this. They want to nominate people who are already there, people who are working, living, and contributing to their local economy. If you can prove that you're genuinely settled, that is a massive, massive advantage. So there you have it. The strategies are laid out, the state priorities are much clearer, and yeah, the competition is going to be fierce, but now you have the playbook for the 2025-26 Skilled Migration Program. The only question left is, what's your next move?